Welcome to the Orion Command Center. Big Skillet here, broadcasting from server 889. And we have a Takeda event, which is pretty cool. He typically only comes out once a year at Christmas time. And, he's not really a commander in the meta with a 20% guaranteed hit. And his second skill, I think, raises your dodge and defense or something to that effect. But definitely not in the meta. He does have some purpose around Christmas time. We'll go into that later. But we also have a release Gilly event, which is great because she's probably the best infantry commander in the game. I know it's debatable with Stella and Nico and now Uber. We all kind of have our favorites, but Gilly definitely is a really, really good commander worth having, especially at S-Class if you can. And then we finally, after it seems like 2 months, have a BOGO Mags, but the success at adding a leadership event, which is key for so many players to be able to grow their commanders and leadership overall. So very excited about this event. We also have the Gate of Time and Space. I think for most of us are familiar with that. We'll go into that in a few minutes. And then they just released the Melange Tycoon event this morning, a little mini event, 2-day event. And then the last is the Commander Assemble event, which is how you're going to get Takeda. And they're also giving you a chance at 250 releases to get Robin. And I'm pretty excited about Robin actually, and we'll review that in a few minutes too. So, you know what? Let's just get right into it. All right, we have our BOGO Mags like we talked about, the success rate for adding leadership, which I think is the most exciting part of this event. Return of Gilly is really nice as well. 18% chance to release her. If you release 10, it has to be a 10. You can't do a single. And like I said, I've had her for a long time. She was my main. So let's get into the mini events. The first one, we have a Guild Gold spend. So I think everybody's familiar with how that works. The Gate of Time and Space. For the bottom row, you can get, I think, most important things, you get the Cosmic Crystals, the SE, Super Equipment chests and whatnot. The second row, I typically go for the Pure Crystals. You can get like a plus 15 bot and whatnot. I usually don't go for those. The Pure Crystals are too important for me, and I'm sure for most people. The second row from the top, you can get 10 Pure Crystals, I think 500 mags, because I've already gone through it once. I'm on my second time. 10 Pure Crystals, 500 mags, and some of the gems, which I don't need. So I definitely always choose the Pure Crystal. And then at the top, you have those optional equipment chests where you can get either the optional chest box, optional headpiece box, or optional weapons box, and then the awakening material, which is what I'm up for here. I have pretty much everything else I need as far as the optional equipment. So it makes sense for me to get the awakening material. And so it's nice they brought the optional boxes back. There's your Melange Tycoon event. Here's your opportunity to receive 11 keys. And prior to today, the max you can get was only 9. So you knew there was going to be something else because nobody could get the top tier of the pyramid. Because in the Commander Assemble, you can only get 9. There's Takeda, there's Robin. Like I said, I've already gone through as much as I could do in the Melange Tycoon event. I was pretty low. I only had 1.2 million. I don't think I'll spend enough to get 2 more boxes because it just isn't worth it for me to use the gold. But the Commander Assemble, they're going to throw in some mags and a 15 bot and whatnot. But Robin, S-Class Robin is really exciting, I think. I already have him in S, and I pumped his skills up a while back. I was using him as a utility commander, but the meta has changed a little bit with those Fire Spirit pants, and that's a big deal. His 60% skill that disables gems and skill triggers with those pants at plus 40, that's a 75% skill. That really makes him, to me, a commander that we need to consider, because his survivability increases every time that skill triggers. And if it triggers, in theory, 3 out of 4 times, that's pretty good. I'm not sure whether he's going to be good with the new T12 damage reduction troops or the old T12 with the with the terror space, it's a tough call. I'm gonna give Robin a flyer here for a little bit. I might throw a few thousand mags to him just to pump him up a little bit and see how he does. I don't have the fire spear pants, so I can't really test that. I know I have some guild mates that do, and if they have Robin, maybe they can play around with him a little bit. But he could be in the meta, and we just don't realize it yet because a lot of people kind of forgot about him. I do want to go into, we finally have the Final Four. Very exciting. DZG won their match. I don't think there's a surprise there. And then we lost to FBI. Kudos to FBI. It was a great match. We were leading in points when we lost both of the strongholds. So, kudos to us for that. That was a very hard fought match. Win, I think he pretty much easily won their match, and they're in the Final Four. Great job, Win. And then TFC was our first guild in the Final Four, and kudos to them as well. So Final Four next week. Very excited. That's all I got. Have a great one, and we'll talk soon. Wait a minute, we're not done yet. Well, let's go into Takeda just a little bit. Typically, he only comes out once a year, like I discussed previously. And as I recall, in order to obtain Takeda and the skin, the reagents were the same. Now, I could be wrong. If I am, please post in the comments below. But if you get him now, when the Christmas event comes around, instead of using the reagents to get him again, you can use them to get the Santa skin, and then you could trade that in for the plus 50 bot, which is a huge, huge deal. To be able to level your gear up to 50 or maybe have a 47 to take to 48, something like that is a huge value. So even though he's not in the meta, you're not going to use this commander, but he may be useful at the end of the year if they're going to do the same thing they did last year. So if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you hit the bell icon, that way you know when I post the next video. And until then, we'll see you again.